What's going on, dudes and dudettes? Yes, I was met by the Pimpo Fairy last night, so whenever I see that bitch again, I'm gonna get her, but it's all good. Hopefully it's not too distracting. I bet my eyes are more distracting. Just took a shower and got a bunch of soap in them. I don't do any weed or nothing. I just look like I do, but no, I don't. So get on to some more positive news. So USC was able to flip a 4-star wide receiver from Oregon and Kyron Ware-Hudson. He's from Mater Dei, which is like the OC, Orange County, and it's one of the top schools out here. There's a lot of USC guys right now on the team, and then in the past, there's always been a lot of good guys from Mater Dei, so it's good that USC was able to get him. They didn't really say the reason why. It was just it was a birthday present, I guess, for his mother yesterday, saying that he was gonna stay home in Cali, which is cool. It's always great to take a guy away from, one of the better teams in their conference, so definitely happy for that. Then when it comes to Duke basketball, they were supposed to play, I think it was Wednesday, against Gardner-Webb, but a couple of positive COVID tests for Gardner-Webb. The Duke had to cancel that game. So their next game was Saturday, a couple days ago, against Coppin State. And yeah, they ended up winning 81-71. Never really got like a big time lead or anything like that against a worser team, but I would say that worse team has been around a lot longer playing together than this Duke basketball team has, so I'm pretty sure that's why it was close. But I mean, a lot of the younger guys for Duke stepped up. Jalen Johnson, the guy that I mentioned to you before that is looking like a top 5 pick, he's projected at least. He did get, I believe, 19 points and 19 rebounds, something like that, which is good stats for him. And then the one guy I said I liked the most out of this freshman class, DJ Stewart, the shooting guard, he ended up getting like 22, 24 points. So I believe he led them in scoring coming off the bench, which is great. Maybe he'll get in the starting lineup, but it does seem, I don't know if it was just because the matchups, but they did not play their centers a lot. And when they did, they kind of left Johnson down there at the center position. That's why I believe he had so many rebounds, but I don't think you can do that against Michigan State, who they will play on Tuesday, tomorrow night. So it should be a good matchup. Hopefully they can at least make that game close. Like I said, hopefully. And then when it comes to USC football, they were scheduled to play this last Saturday against Buffalo at home, but earlier in the week it came up like there was a positive test here and there, and then eventually multiple guys had it, and the main reason why the game was canceled is because it affected one position group, which was the offensive line for USC. So if, according to their conference rules, especially if your whole position group is gone because of that and you really have no backups or anything like that to play, then you're kind of screwed and will have to cancel or forfeit the game. Right now, I believe it's just canceled. I don't know if it's 100% forfeited. I could be wrong. But Colorado did play another team that day, which I guess is good for them. But as of right now, everything looks good this week for USC against Washington State. They did move the game to Sunday. It was originally slated to play on Friday, this Friday coming up. But I guess just to give the quarantine players of USC some more practice time to be able to get ready for that game and have somewhat of a fair advantage. So hopefully things go good, because I know Washington State missed like their first 2 games because of the virus. So hopefully they're past that and nothing happens, but we'll see. I think they said a backup plan if one of those teams doesn't go is that Stanford will end up playing one of those teams. So it's good. Rivalry against USC. It's always been a good game, but hopefully it doesn't come down to that, because I prefer Washington State, who is the worser team. But yeah, hopefully that goes well. And then, yes, the LA Chargers. So they had some positive news. They were getting back their running back Austin Eckler, who's been on IR for a while, but they were able to get him back, and he looked solid. They gave him like 20 plus touches, and he did a lot of good things, especially in the passing game with that. But before the game, they were losing Uchenna Nwosu, the ex-USC defensive end, for multiple weeks, which sucked. And then right before the game, they said that Melvin Ingram, the defensive end, who I've been saying they should have traded a while ago, was once again going on IR, which sucked. But they were bringing back the cornerback Chris Harris Jr., and he did play, so that was at least some positive for the defense. But it still didn't matter because they still ended up losing, and I think they lost by 10 points this time, so not the one score as they usually do. It could have been one score, probably only by 3-4 points, but they just, the last 30 seconds, they're only like 5-6 yards away, and they don't know how to stop the clock, or because they had no timeouts, but you could throw the ball down, stop the clock on the first down, and throw the ball towards and out of the end zone and do all this other stuff. But they decided to run the ball at that time when you have no timeouts, and it was just really bad play calling. And I did see that main head coach Anthony Lynn seeming like he was calling a lot of those plays and not the offensive coordinator, which sucks because I'm surprised he's still the head coach as of right now as I'm speaking to you. But maybe losing against New England this week, and hopefully his replacement Bill Belichick, then maybe it'll be the writing on the wall for the Chargers, because I know the Lions recently did what I think you should do, is fire your GM and coach at the same time instead of just one or the other, because eventually the other one's going to end up getting replaced and not liking the other person. So I think you always have to go for both. But the only positive thing is that they did move up one spot to 5th place to be top 5 overall in the draft, which is always the benefit I look at right now when your team is struggling. So hopefully they can get even higher in the top 5, and yeah, that's all I'm hoping for. So hopefully that does happen. And yes, Brandon Ingram, ex-Duke small forward, now with the Pelicans after the Lakers. He did sign the 5-year extension on his rookie deal with the Pelicans. It's good for him. It's like around 158, 168, something like that. And I'm sure it's only cheaper than, like, say, Tatum, who recently got his, just because you pretty much know Ingram might not make the top 15 players in the league. So it's probably why it's cheaper. But if he does, then he does get bumped up like 20-30 million for his next contract, which is good for him. And then Frank Jackson, the ex-Duke shooting guard, who was with the Pelicans recently but just signed a deal for 1 year with OKC. So good luck to him. Hopefully he'll get some playing time now that Chris Paul is gone. And then USC basketball were able to play their first 2 games, which is good. And they played Cal Baptist the first game. Luckily they won 95-87, I believe, but it was in overtime. And I think it's just like how I said about Duke. Cal Baptist has probably been all together for more years now compared to what USC is, who they kind of like Duke, just bringing a lot of freshmen and transfers as well. But yes, luckily they were able to get the W, and the guy who could be the potential #1 overall pick next year, Evan Mobley, looked really good as well, the freshman. And then their second game, I think it was Saturday as well, and they ended up beating Montana 76-62, so that was good for them. That one they controlled a bit more against a lower level team, so that was good to see, and hopefully it can continue. I forget who they played next, but yes, good luck to them. And a couple of signings. Kostas Antetokounmpo, one of the younger brothers of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the MVP, he recently signed or re-signed with the Lakers on a 2-way contract, so good for him. He could play both in their developmental league and on the regular team if needed, so that's good, I guess. He was with the team this last season, so be all right. And then also Chimezie Metu, ex-USC power forward, who was selected by the San Antonio Spurs in the second round a couple years back, but guess he was a free agent, and he decided to sign with the Sacramento Kings. So I didn't know he was a free agent. Lakers should have definitely looked at him to get an extra body, especially for one of the bigger guys. But at least he's in the same division, so he's getting closer and closer to the Lakers, I guess. And then some pretty big trade that happened. Like I said, when I see these on Instagram, I don't really believe them, but it would be kind of interesting. It's just how really good it can end up being for the Lakers, or how really bad it can be as well. It's just like a major up and down slope. But the trade was for Houston Rockets point guard Russell Westbrook, who is obviously an LA guy, went to UCLA, but the Lakers would get him, but they would have to give up guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and I believe Kyle Kuzma as well will be part of that deal, and then Alex Caruso with like a first round pick somewhere in the future. And that would be the trade apparently, but I don't know. It's a very volatile situation because he can be pretty crazy when it comes to him not being happy with how his role is on the team, and he's definitely going to be the third star on the team, not first or second at all for the Lakers with LeBron and AD there. So who knows? It could be a great thing, but like I said, I don't know. I think I'd rather keep a guy like Caruso and KCP. Kuzma we could give to whoever and get anything else good back. So, but yeah, very crazy situation. So yes, for this free agency period, the Lakers tried to get Luol Deng's old contract, at least what's left of it, off of their cap, so they could be able to use about $5 million this year and next year. But the NBA declined it, of course, but I think it's just to make it a more compatible around the league, I guess. But yeah, it does suck that you're still having to pay a player who didn't even play most of that first of 4 years that he was with you, and then he went off to go play for another team after you let him go, and you're still paying for it. But that was the Lakers GM at the time, who sucked and made a stupid thing, and he made another stupid contract, but somehow they got rid of that one, but they couldn't get rid of Deng's. But yeah, we'll be at least dealing with that this year and next offseason as well, I think, but I'm sure we'll get through it. Then Pau Gasol, ex-Laker, has mentioned that he would like to come back and finish his career with the Lakers. It's just tough because if he does, he probably won't even play as of right now. I don't know how effective he could be. I know he's gotten a lot better at shooting the three ball since he left, but I just don't think there'd be enough room for him. But if he doesn't mind signing like a really cheap, non-guaranteed deal, coming off the bench late in games, you know, getting 1 or 2 shots in, like, that'd be cool to send him off on a good wave. But it's really up to him. And if worst comes to worst and he has to play, hopefully he still has something left from those championship runs that he had with us, and be able to give us what we need. So yeah, sorry, I just got a text right now. I'm reading it as I'm talking here. But Brian Windhorst of ESPN is a pretty good NBA behind the scenes guy, said that AD is kind of might restructure his deal or structure his deal around the idea of the Lakers getting Giannis, which is pretty crazy. I only believe it from him because he's pretty close with a lot of NBA guys. But I just, even if you think like if LeBron leaves the team within a year or two and Giannis is available to come, because they're not going to trade for him. They can't trade for Giannis. It'd be ridiculous. But once he's available off his contract, and Giannis playing with AD, I mean, it like the Westbrook thing, it could be unstoppable because they're gigantic human beings and both very athletic. And offensively, they could be hard to stop. And if they actually work together defensively, they could be like ultimate twin towers because they could actually move. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't really been the biggest fan of Giannis. I think he gets away with too many freaking walks and all this stuff. I mean, blatant walks too. I mean, LeBron will do it. A lot of these guys, they let them get away with like an extra step, and they count it as one, which I don't understand. But he gets away with that and then like another step, so I don't get it. He's already tall enough. But yeah, I don't know. It could be very bad. It could be really great. I just think, I don't know if you could waste so much money on those two guys like that, and then who else are you gonna have really on your team? So I don't know. A bunch of shooters. I don't know. Be tough. You have a very thin bench, in my opinion. And then they mentioned if Duke's one and done, which is them signing really highly talented high school players coming out every single year, and because they're so good, they eventually leave after 1 year. Is it actually sabotaging like the way they play and their program and stuff? I mean, you can say it is, just because I've been with Duke since like 04, 05, and whenever they've had like older players mixed with the younger guys, younger talent, it has worked. I saw it in 2011. It was mostly older guys that won the title for them, and then 2014, 2015, that was definitely more of the younger guys doing that, but you still had some veterans around them. But I don't know, Kentucky did it pretty much with a lot of younger guys that mixed as well when AD was there. So it could be sabotaging. A lot of these guys they got now, to me, they're talented, but only like maybe 2 or 3 can leave automatically. The rest, it seems like they're gonna have to stay and do the extra work, at least stay another year. So Duke could be even better the following season with the amount of talent they already have coming in next year, and those guys are really one and done prospects. A lot of these guys aren't really. Jalen Johnson, I mentioned, yeah. DJ Stewart, it just depends how consistent his shot is, just because he's a very small, petite guy. But as long as you can shoot the ball, the heck out of the ball, you could get in the NBA as of right now. So you never know. But they asked also with USC football if Matt Fink is the better answer at quarterback for USC other than Keaton Slovis, and I just go back to they had like one of the more talented quarterbacks to come out of California recently, just a few years back, in JT Daniels, and because they wouldn't guarantee him like a higher percentage or high shot of getting the starting job against Keaton Slovis this season, he decided to transfer and head out to Georgia, where he's actually finally starting. They didn't start him at first, but now he is, and they won both games. He threw for almost, I think he threw over 400 yards one game, definitely over 300 the next. Like I said, they won both in the SEC, and they could be a dark horse team to make the Final Four, and all you needed to do was wait for him to be 100% healthy, which he is now, and he would have been balling. So I don't get it. It's just another lack of USC understanding their quarterback situation and the recruiting situation, and offensive coordinator Harrell probably falling too much in love with Slovis because of what he did last season. But JT Daniels, before he went down that year, was looking really good in my opinion. He could have done a lot of great stuff, but I don't know. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Losing stuff.